2 years ago now to this month, our oldest daughter Olivia was having issues with her speech, and we could understand her. George and I could understand her, but other people would say that they had trouble understanding her. And for a long time, we thought, oh, she needs speech therapy. So we took her to Child Find to find out what was going on. And I told them, she needs speech therapy. And they responded to me and they said, has her hearing ever been checked? And I said, well, no, she was born hearing, everything's fine there. And they said, oh, because we just checked her hearing and she failed her hearing test. And I was filled with emotion. We didn't know what was going on. And then I'm probably emotional talking about this today, but what ended up happening is I ended up taking her to multiple specialists to try to figure out what was going on, because she failed in both ears. She failed her hearing test, and they were saying that she could only hear about 50% of the time. And I took her to one specialist and they said she needs hearing aids. And I remember almost lashing out at them and saying, how dare you say she needs hearing aids? We don't even know what's wrong with her yet. And I was so upset. I stomped out. I was crying. I was they were telling me something's wrong with my daughter, who I thought was perfect, right? Or normal. And I kept pushing all these specialists. No one could tell me why she wasn't hearing. Everyone I talked to, they were like, all we know is that she's not hearing. We don't know what's causing it. I learned so much about the ear and the inner ear, and actually a lot of research still needs to be done on the inner ear. It's literally inside your brain, the inner ear is, and they just don't know a lot about it. So anyways, so I started getting a lot of tests done, and I said to she ended up getting a CAT scan. And when I got the CAT scan report back from Inova Hospital, and the first line says bilateral enlarged vestibular aqueducts. And George and I started Googling to find out what that was. And we searched everywhere to try to figure out what it was. And what it is that her aqueducts, so basically you have your outer ear, then you have which is what a lot of people consider the ear, okay? And then you've got your middle ear, and then you have your inner ear, which is basically your cochlea, which is inside your brain. So the opening into her cochlea basically is enlarged, meaning more fluid gets into her cochlea. And so what ends up happening with kids, EVA kids, which is what she has the short form for that, what ends up happening is it starts killing the hair follicles inside her inner ear, which then causes hearing loss. So we got this report saying that she had enlarged vestibular aqueducts, and we didn't know what to do, right? And we were a complete wreck. I mean, she was born hearing. Everything was sort of normal with her. We knew she needed speech therapy, but we didn't know what was sort of causing the hearing loss. And now we found out what it was, right? So then I started searching for the best doctor for EVA, so for what she has. Now, this is such a rare condition, what Olivia has, that it's so rare that I'm in a group of parents, so parents of kids with EVA, and the group of parents is only 900 people in the entire group, and this is a group of the entire world, meaning everyone in the world with kids, not everyone, but the people that know about Facebook, which is a lot of people, are in this group of parents of kids that have EVA. So that's how it shows how rare that condition is. So what ended up happening is I started searching for a doctor and for help with my daughter that has this, and I of course wanted the best, right? Because every parent wants what's best for their kid. I mean, when you find out something's wrong with your child, of course you want the absolute best for them. So I started researching and found Children's Hospital. So right in DC, Children's Hospital, and I ended up finding an amazing doctor who specializes in enlarged vestibular aqueducts, which is what she has. And so they specialize in that. and is the best doctor on the entire East Coast. So the best doctor on the entire East Coast, and we pushed hard to get her in front of Dr. Riley is his name. And he's been her doctor now for the last 2 years and has been just doing a phenomenal job. So why am I telling this story? Why am I sharing this with you? So for the last 2 years, both Team Mom and I, we give a lot to Fisher House Foundation, and you've heard us talk about that. But over the last couple of years, I've wanted to give back to the Children's Hospital just because I can't imagine not having the resources to do what's best for my daughter. So like, we have the resources to where I could get her into the best doctors, I could get her into the best hospitals, but imagine all the parents that don't, right? Imagine being one of those parents that your child needs help, but yet you don't have the resources to get them help. And the Children's Hospital, basically, they will fight to get funding for things that other kids need help with where parents don't have the resources to pay for it. So over the last couple of years, it's been heavy on my heart to give back to the Children's Hospital just because without them, I wouldn't have the peace of mind I have with Olivia, and she wouldn't have gotten the best care without Children's Hospital. So it's just been really heavy on my heart, and I've been, sort of like praying about and thinking about if this was the best thing for us to do is to take on the Children's Hospital along with the Fisher House Foundation to give a portion back of our referral commission back to this worthy cause. So fast forward, I've been praying about it and thinking about it, right? And what ended up happening, so then we decided to start advertising on Wash FM, so iHeartRadio, Wash FM. And I go in to meet Sabrina Conti, who is our friend there at the station. And the minute I walk in, she starts talking about Children's Hospital. And I was like, oh my goodness. I probably was speechless for a moment, because I couldn't believe it, because it was like, I've been praying about whether or not this was the best decision for us to do in terms of giving back to Children's Hospital, but I didn't know for sure. And then we come in, and then Sabrina starts telling us about what Wash FM and iHeartRadio is doing for Children's Hospital this Christmas. And I immediately just looked at her and I said, yes, like, we want to be part of it. And so today I'm supposed to be making the announcement that the Reynolds Team is going to be part of the Children's Hospital radiothon that's coming up in the next coming back to we're going to be sponsoring a phone bank. And so we're starting with that. We're sponsoring a phone bank. And so a couple months from now, so I was supposed to be announcing that today, and Lincoln decided to have an ear infection. So we do everything we can for our kids, right? So I left the office. I'm about to take him over to the doctors to get that checked out. But the point of this is I wanted to share with you guys that the Reynolds Team now is taking on Children's Hospital to be one of our worthy causes that we give back to. So how it works on our team is that not only when someone introduces us to someone that's looking to buy or sell a home, we give a portion of the commission back to the Fisher House Foundation. And now it's going to be back to the Fisher House Foundation and to Children's Hospital. And so that was the big announcement today. I'm supposed to be in the office to announce it, but of course, mommy duty called. So I'm taking him to the doctors to get his ear infection checked out. But the point is that I'm so excited about this new worthy cause of us sponsoring the Children's Hospital. And I'm excited about it because they have directly impacted me and my family through the amazing work that they do with my Olivia. And so I'm super excited to give back to them and to help families that don't have the resources. So other families that have Olivias or have kids that have things even worse than hearing loss, through your referrals, we can then give back a portion of the commission to help those families provide the best care for their kids. So I'm super excited about this. I know I'm crying, but it's because I'm talking about my kids. And so our children hit us at our core, right? So be listening as you're listening to Wash FM in the DC, listening to Wash FM, this Christmas, be listening for the Reynolds Team sponsoring the phone bank for Children's Hospital. And if you know of anyone looking to buy or sell a home, introduce us, and then a portion of the commission goes back to the Children's Hospital and will help a family that needs care. So, okay, bye guys.